From the underwater temples to the towering outposts, we leave no stone unturned, no enemy undefeated. The clash of steel and the whistle of hustling arrows fill the air, a symphony of our unwavering valor. With courage in our hearts and blades gleaming bright, we march forth to face the shadows that lurk. We shall shatter their fortresses and vanquish their legions, for we are the heroes of this realm, destined to prevail. To complete our quest to conquer every corner of our world, we first visit the Woodland Mansion. Here we meet the Vindicator, who appears to cross his arms when not provoked. Once he has a target, he reveals his axe and begins charging. Vindicators are the third most hard-hitting melee attack mobs in the game, tied with the Piglin Brutes of the Nether. Because they use axes, they can disable your shield and quickly kill you with a few strikes. You can pillar up to avoid getting hit by their axe, or place down a boat to capture them. If you have an enchanted sword and armor, you can fight them one-on-one. Otherwise, use your bow to kill them from a safe distance. That is easy said than done, because in the same mansion are evokers. These are spell-casting illagers that can summon armor-piercing fangs that bite you from the ground. You can dodge these attacks, but what's concerning about this mob is its ability to spawn multiple vexes. These small flying mobs can phase through solid and liquid blocks, even through lava or fire, and are immune to your attacks unless they are charging you with their sword. This oftentimes comes from behind you, and they almost always land their attacks. They die naturally less than 2 minutes from being summoned, but are really pesky mobs while alive. Evokers are best fought with a ranged weapon to quickly disable them from spawning those annoying vexes. Evokers, when defeated, drop one totem of Undying. This item, when held in either of your hands, can save you from fatal damage. Each totem can only be used once, and it disappears after giving you a chance to live through your ordeal. It also gives you some helpful effects like fire resistance, regeneration, and absorption to prevent you from dying shortly again after it saves you from whatever fatal damage you sustained. Both Evokers and Vindicators are present in raids, the mechanics of which is described in the Guide for Villages. Just to complete the Illager and Pillager group showcase, there is a large four-legged beast called the Ravager that spawns and raids. They attack by ramming targets with its large head, and can trample crops and destroy leaves. They are best fought with ranged weapons like a bow, and they drop a saddle upon death. Thankfully, you won't encounter this monster randomly in the dark. Pillagers are recognizable by their dark robes and crossbows. They live in pillager outposts, which generate in certain biomes, such as plains, taiga, and savanna. These outposts consist of a tall watchtower and several smaller structures like tents and cages for allays or iron golem. If you encounter them in outposts, they spawn continuously around the structure, and because they use crossbows, you should avoid trespassing their lot if unprepared. They can track you from as far as 64 blocks, so it's better to observe them from afar or just through your spyglass. Some of them will be captains wearing an ominous banner on their head. Killing those pillager captains will give you the Bad Omen effect for around 5 Minecraft days. With Bad Omen on you, entering any village will trigger a raid with several waves of attacking enemies. You can avoid bringing down destruction on a village by drinking milk before coming close to those peaceful settlements. As you can recall, milk removes all status effects. Pillagers can also spawn as patrols. They wander around and shoot their bows if you come closer than 10 blocks. You'll also get Bad Omen if you kill the captain of this patrol. Killing pillagers will drop crossbows, arrows, and sometimes emeralds. Silverfish are small hostile mobs that inhabit stone and deep slate blocks in various locations such as mountains, strongholds, igloo basements, and woodland mansions. When you mine an infested stone with a pickaxe, a silverfish will emerge and try to bite you. If a silverfish is attacked, it will summon other nearby silverfish from their hiding spots to join the fight against the aggressor. Use a sword with sweeping edge to hit multiple silverfish every swing. Using a pickaxe with Silk Touch will allow you to gather infested blocks safely without the silverfish emerging. Down in the deep dark lives the Warden. It is a large blind creature that is very sensitive to sound vibrations and is summoned if a player triggers naturally generated Skulk Shriekers 4 times. Once summoned, it inflicts darkness on the player, making movement difficult. Running away is a bad idea because the Warden can run as fast as the player with the advantage of not needing sight to overcome the irregular deep dark corridors and structures. It can smell and locate a player and will be more aggressive if you continue moving or making noise. It appears large, but it can fit in 1 block wide spaces. You can throw projectiles like snow, arrow, or eggs to divert a Warden's attention. But doing so more often than necessary will do the opposite and let the Warden zero in your location. It has the strongest melee attack among the hostile mobs, able to one swing kill you. And even if you try to hide behind a wall, it will use its powerful sonic boom attack, which bypasses all blocks to finish you. The Warden is so strong that it's best if you don't wake it up in the first place. You can explore the deep dark and its valuable treasures by using wool to isolate and destroy shriekers and skulk sensors. You can also open chests without being detected by surrounding them in wool first. Sneaking and walking on wool or carpets silences your steps, which can help you safely get to different places in the deep dark without inviting the frightful Warden. The oceans can generate these massive monuments made of prismarine blocks and sea lanterns. Around this submerged temple spawn fish-like creatures called guardians. They primarily use laser beams to attack you at range and push out their thorns if you are near them. You can hide behind blocks to break their laser beam attack and use a trident or a sword to defeat them. Arrows aren't useful in fighting guardians because they are severely slowed down underwater. When visiting ocean monuments, you have to be prepared to take long dives inside the corridors of the structure. Bringing potions of water breathing and potions of invisibility are highly recommended when visiting an ocean monument. The first potion enables you to stay underwater for up to 8 minutes at a time while exploring and fighting the creatures inside. Drink a potion of invisibility, remove all your armor pieces, and the guardians will not even notice you there. See how I can swim past them without being attacked. Our guide on potions is saved for later. If you don't have access to water-breathing potions yet, you can place down a wooden door to create air pockets. Stand by it to restore your oxygen supply and complete your underwater mission easier. When entering or approaching an ocean monument, you'll receive mining fatigue status effect inflicted by the Elder Guardians inside the temple. There are 3 inside each ocean monument and they do not respawn once killed. Elder Guardians attack using laser beams and thorns like regular Guardians and use the mining fatigue to discourage you from breaking blocks. While in effect, breaking blocks become unbearably long, exposing you to patrolling Guardians and danger of drowning. You can't easily break a block above your head to swim up to breathe fresh air. A clever trick to bypass mining fatigue is to blow a hole in the roof using TNT and a gravity-affected block like sand or gravel. Place a sand block on top of TNT, ignite it, and the TNT can blow a hole for you to get in and get out while mining fatigue is in effect. But if you brought the 2 kinds of potions mentioned earlier, there's really no need to create emergency exits on the structure. Regular Guardians drop fish, prismarine shards, and crystals out of which you can craft the blocks that make up the monument. The Elder Guardians can drop sponge or a template for armor trims. Aside from the Elder Guardian drops, sponges can also be found in some rooms inside the monument. Dry sponge can absorb water 7 blocks around it and immediately turns into wet sponge, which you can reuse by cooking. Navigating the maze-like structure and defeating the Guardians poses a challenge, but rewards players with unique resources and an exciting underwater adventure. There are so much more hostile mobs and monster abilities that we did not cover in this guide. We left them out on purpose for you to discover yourself while you explore your world. An example are the Skelly Horsemen summoned by lightning in the guide intro. The monsters that you will meet in other dimensions will be introduced to you in their separate guides. With the right skills and preparation, even the most fearsome of hostile mobs can be conquered. Join me in the next episode to discover a feature which makes your gameplay more efficient, safer, and enjoyable, enabling you to tackle challenges with greater ease and style. Until then, I am Expensage. Stay safe out there.